here tonight. And so we're really, really excited. So a little bit about the flow of tonight's evening. We are going to have a short talk from Yasunaka Cho, who is from Rakuten RapidAPI, and I'll turn it over to him in just a moment. After that, we are going to have 4 student presentations where they're going to show you the apps that they've built tonight and talk a little bit about the challenges they faced during that time. And then after we finish up with the event tonight, we are going to have a networking event on something called Spatial, and I'll be posting the link to that in the chat a little bit after the event. So without further ado, really excited. Everyone, let's welcome Yasunaka Cho. Yasu, go ahead.
Thank you. This is Yasu. Hi, Heather, can you turn on my video, please? Hello. I cannot share my screen, so could you turn on my video?
Okay, Yasu, just a second. So you should be able to turn on your video now. How about that?
Yeah, it works. Thank you.
Okay, no worries.
Right. Can you see my screen? This slide.
Yes.
Just a moment. Yeah, we help build and scale new tech ventures. Prior to join Rakuten RapidAPI, I also trained programming by myself, and then also like host of like 2 tech meetups. One is Django programming, the other is like data science. And then, so why are we passionate about Rakuten RapidAPI? So our mission is help developers to create apps faster. You can see on the right side the our CEO of Ido of RapidAPI. He gave a presentation at 500 startups in demo day, and then he mentioned that developers used to spend weeks to write the same piece of code, which makes even worse in enterprise companies. So before they launch their product, it might take years to get the product on the market. So we are here to solve these issues for developers. So why are we excited to work with Chrysalis? So we believe the Chrysalis graduates can create innovative apps using our software. So I'm very excited to see all the products their students are going to build and then present today. So what is API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's a set of tools for building software applications. And then also you can say it's a method of sharing data and the functionality with other parties. The benefits of using API can fall into 3 categories. One is fast development. Instead of you are creating your software from scratch, you can basically choose APIs and then combine them and then build software faster. Second is better service. So each API has strengths in their functionality. So instead of you are building that from scratch, you can just use the expertise that other API providers has and then put it in your software. So it gives you a fair advantage on your software. The last one is cost effectiveness. If you are building software from scratch, then you need to have lots of time or lots of development costs. But if you use API, basically all APIs are pay-per-use, so which means you only pay for what you use. So you can reduce your development cost and then also build your product faster. let's imagine this like case study. So you are going to build flight booking app. First step of building app is you might think about what kind of feature you want to have in that app. The next step is if you can find APIs that allows you to do the functionality, create the functionality, then you can just search our platform. So let's imagine like you are building flight booking app. In that case, you might want to use scale scanner API for flight search. And then we have lots of like APIs that help you to do a weather forecast. So that way your app includes the weather of destination. And then if a user of your website want to make a purchase on flight ticket, then you can have like Stripe payment API and then also currency converter for somebody who travel from other countries. The last one is app notification. So once the date is approaching to the flight date, you might want to send them app notifications so they can catch their flight on time. And then also email notification might be a good solution for them to remind what kind of like flight they have. So these are the APIs that you can just pick and choose and then build it to your software and then create faster development. And then we are so bullish on this like converge of two mega trends. So on the left-hand side, you can see API unicorns. So Twilio, Stripe, Adium, SendGrid, none of them actually exist 15 years ago. Then once they started their company and then they are valued like billions of dollars. On the right-hand side, you can see GitHub, a source repository software that were bought by Microsoft, and then they pay like $7.5 billion to acquire that software. So which means Microsoft paid them $300 per each user. So the similar thing happened to GitLab, the computer of GitHub. So once you see these two like trends, we are so bullish on what we are doing here. However, at the same time, there's lots of challenges for developers to face when they want to use APIs. So these challenges can fall into three categories. One is discoverability and then comparison. Second is usage. Third is administration. For discovery and then comparison, if you want to find APIs that you are looking for, there's many places you can find. And then the comparison is fragmented and then time consuming. Let's say if you can shortlist 4 or 5 APIs in one functionality, then it can be very troublesome to compare one by one using latency and security and then reliability and cost. So it will be really helpful to have like metrics to decide which one you should use. The next one is like, so if you find API, some of them the documents are poorly written, so which means you might need to go ahead and then see how it works by actually testing. And then also different APIs require different like configuration and then test endpoint. So it would be really time consuming to try one by one. The last one is administration. So statistically, today you want to build a mobile app, it need more than 5 to 10 APIs in the software. And then log in and then log off each API dashboard and then API dashboard, then it can be a really headache for you to use multiple APIs. Then the headache will add up once you use more than like 10 APIs. So we are here to solve these problems of using APIs. So Rakuten RapidAPI, we have 10,000 APIs on our platform with 1 million developers using our software. Now we are excited to introduce Rakuten RapidAPI for Teams. So basically, this allows you to work with your colleagues or teammates and then invite them to your account and then allow to like develop with your teammates. So it allows you to share private APIs and then share API subscriptions and then analyze API performances that your teammates are using. So by creating this software, we believe we provide 4 benefits to our developers. One is discoverability. So we have best-in-class API selections on our platform, and some of our APIs are not even can find in their original website. So some example would be Skyscanner. So their website have APIs, but they only provide to B2B companies, not B2C or hobby developers. But we have that in our platform, and then you can use anytime, even you are small or big or for big companies. The second is consumption. So we provide test and the configuration in one window. So that allows you to compare API hand by hand and then see which one is good for you to use. And then third is payment. We have transparent upfront cost structure for each APIs. So you don't need to worry about how much you are going to pay for using certain APIs. And then also we consolidated all the usage of API and then bill you only like each month for one single payment. The last one is monitoring. So you can monitor API usage performance and then cost in one single pane of glass, which means you have all the control over your API usage. So our interface looks like this. So you can find, test, integrate, and then manage your APIs from our software. And then there's some popular APIs. One is like Twilio, SendGrid, and then we have several APIs from Microsoft. And then also we also have line messaging APIs on our platform. So let's hear what customer says. So Junction X, which is the largest hackathon group in the world, the CEO told us that Rakuten RapidAPI gives developers a massive advantage in turning idea into reality. So in hackathon, you can have only like 48 hours from like creating idea and then build a product and then make a presentation. So within 48 hours, then the developer can get huge benefit of using API to build a platform within 2 days. So this is the end of my presentation. So if you like to use our product, we have like free account. You can start from free account. And then please go to english.api.rakuten.net to sign up. And then we have Twitter, Facebook, and then LinkedIn. So you can go to our social media account and then follow us. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you so much, Yasu, for coming in and speaking with us again. As always, it's a pleasure, and I hope you enjoy the presentations that you'll see tonight. So if we could get Team Nekonoshita to go ahead and set up and start sharing their screen and turn their videos on. So what you're going to see next, the next app is going to be an app about jokes. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give away too much. So it's really exciting. All right, let's see. Sean is saying. Okay, just a moment there, Sean. All right, here. Everyone, if you'll bear with me for just a moment. Okay. 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 So I see Dylan's in there. Sean, are you doing okay now?
Yeah,
okay, great. I will work on everyone else in just a moment. So you guys can go ahead and start sharing your screen. Okay. There we go. And all right, we all good to go, everyone?
I start now?
Please.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Our team's name is Nekono. We would like to show the presentation to you. And we'd like to tell you about our application Joker made with Rakuten RapidAPI. It generates very interesting jokes. However, the reason for the team name is top secret. It's as secret as the result of my homework. It was not funny. In that case, please use our application Joker. Yes, it is today's agenda. Our team, how we came up with our app, demo, tech stack, challenges, later version. Yes, let's get started. At first, the introduction of team members. This is our tech lead, Yuri.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yuri, and I'm the tech lead. I'm in charge of the GitHub repo and app deployment, and to make sure that our team is on the right track.
And this is Tomoyuki on the front end.
Hello. I worked as a front-end developer for this product. Thank you.
And this is Sean on the front end.
Hello, I'm Sean, and I worked as the designer and API manager for Rakuten API.
And I'm Ryohei. On the back end, I did Express Server and API endpoints. And last, Duran on the back end.
Hi, I'm Dylan, and I worked on the back end mainly, setting up the database and connects.
Thank you. So I'll hand it over to Yuri to talk about our application story.
Thank you, Ryohei. So first of all, how are all of you feeling today? Are you feel happy that it's Friday? Or are you tired of the long week? Or are you feeling bored that you have to stay home? If you feel good, that's great. And if you're feeling bad, don't worry, we got you. So if you feel bad, just check out our Joker app. And now I'm going to hand over to the demo to Sean.
Back to me again. This is our app, Joker. At the top, we have 3 separate areas that you can visit, our most liked jokes, the home page, which we're currently on, and the most disliked jokes. So this is one of the jokes that is coming from Rakuten API. There are only 10 kinds of people in this world, those who know binary and those who don't. I quite like that one, so I might give it a like. Below the joke, we have another API from Rakuten API, which produces different reactions to the jokes from different animals. And if you like the combination of the joke and the animal, although I haven't had time to read this one, I might dislike this joke and it will be put into our dislike pile. If we move over to the most liked jokes, we have a ranking of some of the top jokes. So if we just read one out at random, I was wondering why the frisbee kept getting bigger and bigger, but then it hit me. That's quite funny. If we go over to the most disliked jokes, these ones might not be as funny because they're the most disliked ones, but we'll give it a go. The easiest time to add insult to injury is when you're signing someone's cast. Oh, yeah, I can see that size on the dislike side. And finally, if we head back to home, we have our mascot on the left-hand side, and he hands you random little pieces of advice, which is also from Rakuten API. And when you click him, he will change his advice. If we just move over to look at the mobile side of the app now. So if I switch it over to an iPhone SE, everything on the clown disappears because he wouldn't fit, but everything else will resize and continues to work as normal. I quite like this joke, so I'm going to give that one a like. That's all for the demo and all from me. Thank you. If we pass over to Tomoyuki now to talk about the tech stack.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, this is our tech stack for our funny joke application. For front end, we use Vue.js. For back end, to provide API, REST API interface, we use Node.js and Express. Then we use PostgreSQL. Then to connect to server side and database, we use Knext.js as OR mapper. Then all of the stack working on Heroku server. Okay, then from Rakuten RapidAPI, we use these two awesome APIs. First one is Joke API B2. It returns really funny jokes through Rakuten API. The second one is Lam API. This returns really funny reaction images of animals. Okay, okay. Then we want to talk about our challenges. So let's go next, Dylan.
Thanks, Tomoyuki. So with regard to the challenges on our project, the first one, which is a non-technical challenge, had to do with remote and on-site collaboration. So the most difficult part for us on this instance had to do with the audio. So because our on-site team were working close together and we had to communicate with remote team members, we all were wearing headphones. So when discussing amongst ourselves, obviously sitting in close proximity to each other, the sound would be picked up on other people's microphones. So this caused some problems throughout our project. But we tried to have a central mic, which did seem to improve it a bit, but still challenging throughout. The next challenge we had to do with conflicts between the PC and Mac. So the setup of our app, the design, was mostly done on PC. And we started to realize when we looked at the app on a Mac, it looked slightly different. So as you saw on the demo with our mascot, on the PC, he was in the perfect spot. But when we had it on Mac, he would be hugging the nav bar. So we had to make some changes so that it would work on both PC and Mac. The last challenge we had to do with working with Vue. So not all of our team members were comfortable working with Vue at the time. For me in particular, I came across Vue Router for the first time, which we actually used for changing the views of our app. So you saw the most liked, home, and most disliked pages. That was basically what Vue Router was used for. And I had to do a lot of reading up on documentation and tutorials to actually get up to date. So those were our main challenges. So right now, Joker 1.0 is already an amazing app, but in the future, we want to make it even better. So we want to implement features that will allow for a lot more user interaction. So we would like to implement user accounts so that users can actually submit their own jokes and they can comment on jokes that they like or dislike on the app. And possibly in the future, if we get tired of the cute animals sticking out their tongues, we would like to replace the images with actual memes, which might up the funny factor. So that was our presentation. I hope you enjoyed Joker. And if you'd like to see it, it is deployed on Heroku, and you can find it by following this QR code. Thank you.
Okay, all right, Team Joker, thank you so much. I know we could all use a good laugh from time to time, so thank you very much. So next team members, please go ahead and get ready to go. and switch rooms. So we're in a very big open space right now. If some of you haven't been to the park, and it can be quite noisy and quite echoey. And even though some of us are here together, we're trying this brave new world of online presentation. So we're moving back and forth between rooms, and it's quite interesting and fun. All right, so the next team is going to be presenting an app called Yuta's Travel Companion. If you're wondering why this app is called Yuta's Travel Companion, that's a good question. And I'll encourage you to save those for the networking time on Spatial later. It's a good story. And so let's see, Team Yuta's Travel Companion, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. I'll leave it over to you.
Hello, everyone. So welcome to Yuta's Travel Companion app, your companion app for traveling. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the team. So first of all, as our tech lead, we have Austin.
Hi, I'm Austin. So I'm the tech lead for this project. I primarily worked in authentication and also helped with some of the full stack capabilities. And on the back end, I'd like to introduce Jesus.
You are muted, Jesus.
Jesus.
I'm sorry about that. Hi, guys. I am Jesus, and I worked mainly on the back end, working with the APIs and the fetch calls. And next, we have Florian.
Thank you. Yeah, I also worked mostly in the backend, so also mostly with the APIs and getting the data to the front-end team. On the front-end team, we have the namesake of our team, Yuta.
Hello, I'm Yuta. So welcome to my app. So I'm happy that you joined my companion today. So please have fun. So I worked on front-end and UX UI with Edu.
Yeah, so back to me. As Yuta said, I have been working in the front end with Yuta. And next, I would like to talk to you a little bit about our application. So yeah, it has been very cool to be working with Rakuten RapidAPI because using the service that they provide us, we were able to allot a lot of functionality in our application. First of all, we have a login to make the user able to log in into our app. And then, since it's a traveling application, we have the option to search for a flight and also to find a hotel. And next, I will let Yuta explain you how we came with the idea for this app.
Okay, thanks, Edu, for introducing our app. So I'm going to talk about how we came up with the idea. So in the first, our inception meeting, we did brainstorming ideas because we can choose many APIs because Rakuten RapidAPI has so many choices of APIs. And we wrote what kind of API we are interested in and what kind of category we want to make. But unfortunately, we have to decide one category because we just have 4 days, right? So, and we finally chose to make the app for traveling. We have 2 reasons. First is that our inner motivation. We happen to love travel. All members love traveling. And it's our inner motivation to make the app, and that's important. And the second is kind of related, but everyone actually loves traveling, right? So second is the market point of view. So travel market used to be big before COVID. Like it was 9 trillion US dollar in the whole world. So that's crazy huge. But as you can imagine that because of the COVID situation, it's a little bit weird. We are making the app for traveling, but we believe that after COVID, the market will be more expand because as you can imagine that our desire to travel is prohibited right now, right? And it's human nature, but if something is prohibited, we tend to want to do that more, right? So that's our two reasons. First is our inner motivation, and the second is the most important, that market motivation or desire, or yes, desire. So next is our beautiful demo by our wonderful tech lead, Austin.
Thank you for the kind words, Yuta. So this is our demo for our app. As you can see, it's very simple. You simply have where you want to leave from and where you want to go to, and the date that you want to travel. In this case, I'm logged in currently, so it will display my name, Austin in this case, and it also tells me where I'm currently living in. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to go from New York. Let's say I want to go to San Francisco. And yesterday was actually my birthday, so maybe on my birthday, I would like to travel to someplace cool. Well, a place I love, San Francisco. So I would click this Trip Me button, and it will return me some cool flights. That's loading right now. It says unable to. It seems like the API is down right now, so I was unable to fetch the data from the APIs, which is a little unfortunate, but usually it would be like 4 cards here of flight data. In this case, it's okay. So I'm just gonna move on and talk about and show you the hotel functionality, which should be working. So when I click the hotels button, it should fetch me hotels that are at San Francisco. So click it. It's loading right now, and see now it gives me 4 hotels of what's happening. So that's pretty cool. And if you want to know more about what we do, you can click this About page, and it should take you to our GitHub links and whatnot. So that's the end of our demo. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, and I'd like to talk to you guys now in regards to the technology stack that went into making our great app. Some of the technologies we use were React for our front end, React Next.js, the Materials UI. We also use, of course, the Rakuten RapidAPI for our API fetching, and Auth0 for security and backend, and Varcel for deployment. In regards specifically to the API, we use the Skyscanner Flight Search API, which provided us with the flight search information such as carriers, information for destinations, and quotes and the prices. In regards to the hotel information, such as listings, prices, and bookings that are available, we use the API Dojo for it. And next, we have some of the struggles that we face by Florian.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes, so as already mentioned, we worked with new APIs. We had to use some of them and came upon a few problems. So we had to, or we wished for some kind of documentation. So that was one of the struggles we faced, especially in the beginning when we were completely new to the APIs that we were using. Another struggle was, as the previous team also mentioned, on our team we have 2 persons even who are on remote. So that created additional challenges like how is the team on site working together? Because if they are all using their own microphone, then it causes the feedback. Or like in my case, I'm sitting here in Germany, so you also have to consider the time difference sometimes. So another point was that we use authentication, and we use a new service for that about which Austin will tell you a little bit more.
Yeah, so usually I would just code my own authentications using using bcrypt to hash my passwords and using passport to ensure authentication so that people don't access private information. But in this case, I thought about using something different because I thought it would be interesting. So I decided to use Auth0, which has a lot of cool built-in features such as signing in with Google and so on and so forth. But typically I would build my own database, but in the case of using the service, I found that they had their own database that could store user information for me. That was a bit of a challenge to figure out because although their documentation is really good, it's still hard to get your head around. So it took me a day or two to figure that out.
So for future features, well, our main future feature, definitely our app depends on travel becoming more possible again. But if that's the case, we think one of the main features could be like the option to save our trips. So if you decide, okay, maybe next month I want to do this trip, then you can just save it. So basically like a favorite function. Then another good implementation, of course, would be a return date. So as you might have noticed, currently we only provide one-way flights. But that was just due to the lack of time. So of course we want the users of our app also to be able to come back to their home country. And finally, we also think that it would be very helpful to have additional filter options like how many persons are traveling or what kind of hotel do they want, what services in the hotel they want. So as you might have already noticed in our brainstorming diagram, there's definitely not a lack of ideas for our app. So we would like to thank Rakuten RapidAPI that they made it possible for us to use their APIs and the services, and that we could create the application. You can also visit it through this QR code and have a look yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome work, Team Utah. That was amazing. I know that all of us are really, really looking forward to being able to travel again one day and not being stuck on things. And hopefully we can be able to travel with Utah when those things open back up. So well done. Okay, so the next team is getting set up. They're doing a good job there with that. And so the next team is called the team Jobutan. And they are going to present an app called Jobutan. And it's going to be on a topic that is very near and dear to all of their hearts as, engineering bootcamp grads. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Team Jobutan and get you guys started. Yay!
All right. Thank you, Heather. Good evening, everyone. We're very excited to introduce our app today. First, thank you to Code Chrysalis and Rakuten for this amazing opportunity. Our app name is called Jobutan. It's a combination of job and ten. Ten comes from Tenshoku, which means changing jobs in Japanese, like Rakuten. Before we get into the details, I'd like to introduce everyone on our team. There are 5 developers on our team. First, my name is Eri, and I focused on front end. Next, we have Mattia, who worked on back end.
Hi, everyone.
Next, our tech lead, Alberto, worked on full stack.
Pleasure to meet you.
And we have Philip, who worked on front end.
Hi, everybody.
And last, we have Mukhtar, who worked on back end.
Hello, everybody.
What we can do with our app is you can search for jobs, and also you have a newsfeed feature so that you can get news about the industry you're interested in. We chose this idea because we're going to look for jobs very soon, and also the technology world world changes so quickly, we wanted to be updated ourselves with the latest tech and coding trends. And now we have a perfect app for that. You can search for jobs and news in both English and Japanese. Next, I pass it to our tech lead Alberto for a quick demonstration of our app.
Thank you, Eri, for that lovely introduction. So without further ado, let's go to the demo. So I'm a student graduate of Chrysalis, and I want to search for new jobs. And I'm really interested in being a data engineer. So let's see, I'm going to search for a new job about data engineer. Oh, wait. First of all, I have to log in. There we go. I'm already logged in. Then I'm going to search for that awesome job. I'm going to search first outside Japan because I want to go international first. Oh. Sorry, sometimes that happens with the API. Okay, so we have here the job which company is offering, a little bit of a summary, where is it located, where it was posted, and if we click here, it will show us to the post of our API. And just do a quick demo, and we can see. So, but I don't want to go international. I want to stay in Tokyo. So let's see for some Tokyo jobs. Oh, good thing I know Japanese because it's everything Japan. So I also can view the job if I want. Okay, excellent. So I get that sweet interview now, but oh, I have to be up to date with the latest trends about data. So let's search for something like algorithms, right? What do we have here? Oh, excellent. The first one, a data scientist guide to picking up an optimal approximate nearest neighbor algorithm. Oh, I was lucky. The first one seems like an excellent article. I can open it and see what's there. But let's see what's happening in Japan as well. Oh yeah, of course. I understand everything. Yeah, I can see, of course, the article as well. So I am ready for my interview. I am of the latest trends, and let's do it. So also, the next thing we are going to see what technologies we use. So I'm going to pass the mic to my friend Mattia.
Hi, thank you, Alberto. I'm going to speak about the technology we use in our application. For the setup of our backend, we use Node.js and Express. For correlated our backend to our server, we use KNext.js, and our database is seated in PostgreSQL. Passive and front end, we use React and material design for Bootstrap for the style. For protective data and the sensible data, we use bcrypt hash. And of course, we use Rakuten RapidAPI. In our project, we use the Indeed and the NewsCatcher API. Next, Philip will talk about the challenge about the challenge we are on course in our project.
Nice, thank you, Mattia. So let me run you through some of the challenges we faced during this journey. So first of all, we struggle with designing the flow of users' authentication. We wanted to make sure every user had a seamless user experience, but in order to do that, we did run into some difficulties with setting up this functionality. Second, we had to ensure an efficient use of our APIs, even during development, as there were a few limitations on them, as the number of calls we could make. So we had to make sure to keep track and monitor our API's call and have a smooth development time. And third, as we were a few members working on some front-end components, we had to make sure that the end style matches and that there were no conflicts in the end product. We also had to be careful about the front-end technology we use, because if we mix, for example, pure CSS to some Bootstrap, it could offset some setting we already had in place. In the end, it all worked out. And finally, we have to make sure that sensitive information such as login keys to our APIs were secured. Next, the great Mukta we talked about what we learned and future features we'd like to implement.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mukhtar. Thank you, Philippe, for your introduction. You are our Michelangelo. So I'd like to share what we learned today. The first point is manage sensitive information on deployment. That means we learned how to store this sensitive information like API key and our passwords in local environment variables. So that allows us not send information, such kind of information to public. The next, what we learned is to proper handling the storage using this library bcrypt. Library bcrypt allows us to encrypt user data and send it to database. That means even the database will be stolen, user can be always safe because all the data in database hashed and encrypted, and the stolen data can be not usable. The latest we learned is we learned using different styling libraries to make it our website more responsive. And also it allowed us to save data. And the next, I'd like to share with you our future features. We love our users. So the first we want to implement is we want to create more filters to give more power our users. So our users can not only use the existing filters, can also use different locations such as the location, expiration data, and different filters. So that will be more convenient our users. And the next point we want to implement is, of course, it's our top job offers. That means it's our hot offers that our users can use our hot offers to find job more faster. So, and the next feature, the latest is, of course, it's our users will use our filters and use our top hot offers. And of course, we want to give our users ability to, in sidebar, save all this data and use it at any time when he or she want to see it. So to finalize our presentation, I want to give our great tech lead, Alberto, and you're next.
Thank you, Mukhtar, for that great presentation, and thank you, team, for also the great presentation. And I want to thank everyone for coming and seeing our app. Also, I just want to tell you, if you go to our app, you can see all about us, our mission, and the team. So if you want to see more of our job, you can go to any of our links in GitHub, and you can see what are we working on. So we are right now all students at Chrysalis, but this will change. So again, thank you also Rakuten API for giving us the opportunity to work on their amazing website with all the information that we need. And that's it. I hope that you like our API, our app, sorry, and you use it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Team Jobutan. Not to be confused with the already existing website in Japan, Jobutan, which does something similar. But yeah, I think this app is really, really good, and I know a lot of future Code Chrysalis students who will want to use this app. So thank you so much for making it. And yeah, you're right, Alberto. You will graduate, and really looking forward to seeing what you contribute to this field, everyone. Okay, so awesome work, you guys. So next up, and it's going to be our last presentation for the evening, we have Team What the Fridge presenting an app called Fridge Factor, and I'll let them explain what that means to you. So if Team What the Fridge could just go ahead and get set up, we're looking forward to seeing the awesome app that you've created tonight. And so while they're getting set up and shared the screen, I just kind of want to share what's going on a little bit inside of the park here. It's normally like a very ganky place with tons of cohorts happening at the same time. But all of the students who are staying very late and working hard tonight are just quietly looking at their computer screens, cheering on their classmates. And so it's a really good atmosphere here, and so glad that all of you out there could join us. And so it looks like Team What the Fridge is ready to present. So I'll give it to you guys. Go ahead.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation. We are Team What the Fridge, and this is our app, Fridge Factor. So first, introducing the team. My name is Scott, and I was the tech lead on this project.
Hi, my name is Ayumi. I was the backend expert.
Jimmy will be with us shortly. Just hang on.
Sorry about that. Hello, my name is Jimmy, and I was the jack of all trades full stack.
And my name is Vincent. I was a front-end craftsman.
Great. So just going into a little bit of detail on what we all worked on the project. As the tech lead, I was mainly responsible for repository and project management, making sure that any merge conflicts were handled and we were hitting deadlines to deliver our MVP. And I also handled deploying and getting a working app on Heroku as well.
As the backend expert, I was in charge of user authentication and the server.
So as the full stack, I started off with the database, followed up by Redux, which is state management for all of the data, and then followed that up with the component functionality on the front end side.
And I was responsible for the front-end design and functionalities of the website.
Now Ayumi is going to introduce our app for us.
So a little bit about our app. Our app tagline is scared of what you can find in your fridge. Fridge Factor will help fight this fear. Learn to cook unexpectedly delicious food, eliminate food waste, and save the planet. So what does this mean? If you've ever looked in your fridge to find leftover ingredients you just don't know what to do with, this app was made for you. Our app has a search by ingredient, search by type of food, and search by ingredient and type. And we can share recipes, and for those who choose to register, save recipes. Now, Vincent will tell you a little bit about how we came up with this app.
So we really wanted to save our users time because users are busy with day-to-day activities. That brought us to the idea for Fridge Factor, where you can quickly search for recipes while also clearing out your fridge of unused ingredients, therefore satisfying the need to save time and also combat unnecessary wastes. And I would like to pass to Scott for the demo.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. So switching over really quick. Here we have the Fridge Factor app. Upon loading in, you have some popular apps that have been liked by a lot of our users. So let's say I'm looking in my fridge and I don't know what to make, but I don't want to waste the food I have, and I want to save the planet. So I'm rooting through my fridge. Oh man, these onions are going bad soon. We got to use those. Oh, yeah, I probably should get rid of some eggs before, they spoil too. Unless, oh, well, I got cheese. Let's use that too. So if we enter in all of these things and we click search, it will return a list of recipes that use these. So I can look through these, and if one of these is interesting for me, I can click on the link and it will take me to an external website with the recipe on it. So let's say I have these recipes, but I'm also maybe in the mood for something specific, like, oh, onions, eggs, and cheese. Well, eggs, it has to be an omelet, right? So I want to use onions, eggs, and cheese, and I want to make an omelet with it. So now if we search with it, it should return us some omelets. So let's try it out. And there we go. We have a list of different omelet recipes that use some of our ingredients. So now we can look through them, decide what's really tasty. And maybe we decide, oh man, this ham and cheese oven omelet looks great, but I don't think I'm in the mood for it today. I want to save it for later. We can use our star button and it will be saved for later so that we can view it and we can decide to access that recipe later. And all of our starred recipes will be accessed right here on the side, where you can then click on the link and be taken to the recipe again to cook later. Also with our app, you're going to be looking through lots of recipes, and sometimes you have an experience with a friend or something, like, oh man, I know Jimmy loves like omelets in a bag. I got to send it to Jimmy. That's what we have the share button for. Once you click on it, you get a from email address. So like, oh, Scott, who do I need to send to? Oh, I need to send it to the gym master. He needs to see this recipe. And upon sending this email, it will send an email to Jimmy with that recipe so that he can cook later. And that is it for the demo of our app. So we'll go back to the presentation. Oh, and there's the demo slide. And now moving on, I'm going to pass it to Ayumi to talk about the technology we used in our project.
Thank you, Scott. So the technology we used React Redux for rendering the front end, Passport for authentication, Express for the back end, Postgres for the database, and Connects to connect it. And then, of course, the Rakuten RapidAPI. Now to Jimmy, who will tell you more about the specific APIs that we used.
Thank you very much, Ayumi. So yeah, just on the APIs that we used from Rakuten API. So thank you very much for them. So we based our app around this API that we found called Recipe Puppy. This is where we get our recipes from, where we can then link to the external recipes. And then the other one that we used was called SendGrid, which we used to send emails with our share function, as you saw in the demo from Scott. So onto some challenges that we faced. So I know our app looks amazing, but yes, we did come up with some challenges. So the first one was deciding how to handle user authentication. So we were deciding on what login strategy to use, whether that would be a standard username and password stored in a database, or whether using another authentication service, such as like Twitter or Google. In the end, we decided to that not every user may be comfortable with linking accounts from their Google or social network. So we ended up just going with the local strategy in the database. But in the future, of course, we would like to offer having both of those options for the user. So the next one was designing the database schema and handling the starring and marking recipes as made. So at first, because we were using API for our data, we were coming up with ideas on how to use database and what to use it for. So this is where we decided to use it for our users specifically, where, as you saw, when you star a recipe, it shows up in the database and then it shows up on that side panel. The next challenge that we faced was the component organization and the layout. So at the beginning, we had many, many ideas and we sort of put it all into our code within the functions. So it got a little bit out of hand, but we kind of solved this by bringing it back and just making sort of an MVP or a minimum viable product based on those components that we actually needed at the core, and then sort of building out from that. And the final challenge that we faced was responsiveness on the mobile. So we would really like to have proper responsiveness on the mobile. Right now it's working, as you could see, perfectly on the web, but we would really like to make it at that level on mobile as well. So thank you very much. I'll pass you over to Vincent, who will talk about future features.
Thank you, Jimmy. So first, we would like to implement a feature to buy ingredients on Amazon. For example, when you click the ingredients, you will be redirected to the Amazon website showing a list of that ingredient. Next, we wanted to allow users to share their favorite food on Facebook or Twitter. Right now, we can only share by email. Next, we wanted to add a comments option to let users share tips for a recipe or simply saying it was delicious. Next, we wanted to add more filters to such recipes, like a strict mode to specify that you only have certain ingredients or searching by calories. Next, we wanted to add nutrition information, so our users know if what they're about to cook is healthy or simply delicious. Lastly, we want to improve our user experience to make Fridge Factor easier to use and beautiful for all screens.
All right, thank you, Vincent. So again, we are Fridge Factor. If you are interested in helping save the planet by reducing food waste, you can scan the QR code on there or go to our Heroku. And again, thank you, Rakuten RapidAPI and Code Chrysalis for this opportunity. Thank you all so much for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, team. What the Fridge? That was super entertaining, and now I know what to do when I become scared of my fridge again. So thank you for taking away that fear. So with that awesome presentation, this wraps up the event section on Zoom, all of the student presentations. So out there, let's give all of the students one more big round of applause for the apps that they made tonight. One thing that I forgot to mention is that for some of you who don't know, Code Chrysalis is a 12-week, the immersive is a 12-week full-time from 9 to 6 p.m. every day immersive boot camp. And so the students whose presentations that you've just seen tonight, it's only the end of week 7. So they're just about halfway through and they still have a lot more to learn and a long way to go, but we're just really, really proud of how well they've been able to do so far and always humbled and awed and amazed. So with that, we are going to very shortly move over to the networking session of our evening. But before we do that, I would like to draw your attention to the chat. I have just posted 3 links here. So coming up in just a little bit over a week on August 29th, which is a Saturday, some of the students from this class will be presenting tech talks at our Big Mini Conf. Now these are talks that they've done and researched and created all at the same time as going through a boot camp. So I hope you'll join me online to cheer them on and enjoy the fruits of their labor. Also, CC13 is going to be graduating and sadly leaving the cocoon on September 24th. So please join us for their demo day at that time. And then also underneath the link from that is the link to the spatial chat that I've been mentioning, so hope to see you there. And one third thing I want to mention before we wrap up for the evening, some of you may hear from our events that we are still offering a 15% discount on our foundations program. If you're a beginner and you saw this event and you were equally impressed as I was with the apps and don't really know where to start and are thinking about shifting your career, I highly recommend that you check that course out and see about joining this awesome growing community that we have here tonight. And that is going to be enough from me this evening. So thank you all for joining us and hope to see you over in the spatial chat. Have a great weekend, everyone, and see you at Big Mini Conf.